Hi everyone and welcome once again to Ruby's Classic Cooking. And today I'm making a typically Canadian fall dessert. I am making apple crisp. Now, it's very quick, very easy, and I love this recipe. Today I'm just making an 8x8 pan for my husband and myself, which is 20 by 20 centimeters. That's about 2 inches deep, which is about 5 centimeters deep. Or it says it holds 2 liters or 2 quarts. So that's the pan I'm using today. I'm just making a batch big enough for my husband and myself. I love this recipe. You can make it in any oven safe container that you have. You can use Corningware, you can use metal, you can use a roasting pan, you can use a tinfoil pan, you can do a ceramic stoneware like pan to cook this in. Anything you've got, and you can make it any size you want. All you have to do is adjust the amount of apple that goes in it. So what I'm going to be doing is I've greased this with a little bit of oil, and I'm going to be filling this is a pyrex oven safe container, and I'm going to be filling that up pretty much to the top with apples, and I'm going to be mixing my crumb mixture to make it an apple crisp. So let's make up the crumb mixture. And then I'm going to peel a whole bunch of apples, because you know how to peel an apple, right? So here's my recipe for the apple crisp for the topping. Now this is 1 cup of flour, all-purpose regular flour, which is 250 milliliters, I believe that is, in metric. And I have a cup of rolled oats. Now these are 5-minute oats. And I hope you know what rolled oats are, because I don't know how to explain them to you otherwise. And to that I'm going to be adding 1 cup of brown sugar. Now it's 1/4 cup. That's a 1/2 cup. Now another 1/4 cup. And I will have my cup of brown sugar. And I'm also adding to that 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Nice heaping teaspoon. I find with these older recipes, sometimes I almost double up on things like cinnamon, because when they wrote these recipes, they were still in post-World War II mode, and these things were expensive and hard to come by, and now things are a little easier. These sort of things like cinnamon aren't nearly as exotic, so we add a bit more for flavor. I'm just going to stir this mixture together, make it look a little more homogeneous. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of butter to this. Once I've done that, my crumb topping is ready to go. Alrighty, see how it's changed now in its appearance? Now it's all mixed together. Now I'm going to dump in my 1/2 cup of butter, which I kind of have measured off of my my pound here, and I'm just going to tumble that into my bowl directly. There's my butter, my 1/2 cup of butter added in there. And so it says to cut in my butter. So I'm just going to use my pastry blender. If you don't have a pastry blender, you can use 2 knives, you can use a fork. But you know what, if you do this very much, invest in a pastry blender. It's a really very handy item to have in your kitchen. If you're going to do much cutting butter into things, it's really very helpful. Alright, here I am back again, and here's my apple crisp mixture, all nicely blended together. Just keep going and blend your butter in until it's all mixed in together, and there's no blobs of butter in there, and it's all mixed together. And over here I have 8 apples so far, and I have peeled, cored, and sliced up finely. And I've got 1 more left here, which I'm going to do to show you how I do this, although you probably already know how to do this. But anyway, I just cut my apple in quarters after I peeled it. Oops, quarter my apple. You see these are about medium-sized apples. I just remove the core. I just do this all with a paring knife. I don't use any special fancy tools when I'm preparing my apples. Just a good sharp paring knife. Save it carefully with your fingers. And then I just slice it up. I slice this quarter into probably 4 or 5 slices, nice and thin. And I just kind of spread them out on top of so that my apples are all evenly distributed in my pan. The particular variety I'm using today is a Gravenstein apple. This is one of my favorite apples to work with. It's it's an old variety, and it's only grown locally because it is a lovely cooking apple. It makes fabulous applesauce, makes wonderful apple pie, and it makes lovely apple crisp, and they're good for eating. But unfortunately, Gravenstein apples have a fault, that they're not really good at shipping or storing. So the first couple of weeks of the season, the first maybe 3 weeks of the season, they are crisp and delicious and wonderful. And then they start to get, their skins start to get oily and thick, and they lose their crunch and crispiness. And anyway, Gravenstein apples are the first apple of the season, and as soon as I see them on sale, I run out and grab a 10-pound bag or 5 kilos and start preparing them because they don't keep well. Anyway, now I'm going to mix my crumb mixture in with this. And now it says to mix about 1/4 of your crumb mixture in with this. Now this is a really generous amount of crumbs because really this amount is for an 8 by 12 pan full of apples, and this is only an 8 by 8. So that would be 20 centimeters by I think about 30 for 12 inches. So anyway, I may not use all of these. I may put some aside and make an apple crisp another day. So I'm just going to tumble about 1/4 of these in here. And I'm just going to mix them in with my hands very carefully because I don't want my apples and things to go off the edge here. You just kind of mix this all in through your apples. And it might get a little messy. I really kind of filled my pan up well with apples. But you just kind of want to get this all down through your apples. I know that's a little messy doing it by hand, but you know, that's part of the good old-fashioned way of cooking, was using your hands. Okay, and now I'm going to add a bunch of it to make a layer on top of crumbs. Then it goes into my preheated 325 Fahrenheit, which is I think 163 degrees Celsius. But don't worry, metric people, because all the metric, everything will be in my recipe when I print it up below, in my description file below. Then I'm going to put this into my preheated 325 oven, 163 degrees Celsius, for 40 minutes. And that should make it nice and golden brown, gorgeous. It'll make the top crust nice and crispy. And then I will serve it up by slicing it up into squares and serving it on a plate. And you can either eat it just as it is, you can eat it warm from the oven, you can add a scoop of vanilla ice cream to it, or a nice blob of whipped cream. Whatever you prefer. I'll be back. Well, right now I'm just going to add the crumbs on top here. And then I'm just going to put all my crumbs on here, all that will fit. And I kind of give it a little pat down to make my crumbs kind of stick together. I like to fill my pan right up. I've done 9 apples here to go in here. It says to use 4 cups of apples, but I like to use more. I'm just going to pat that down. Oops, I moved a little bit here on this corner. And don't worry, the rest of this mixture won't go to waste, because I'll probably make a small apple crisp with just an apple or 2 in it. There we go. Just make sure you've got a nice coat of crumbs all over everywhere. And I'll bring you back in 40 minutes and show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. Here I am back again after 40 minutes. And here's my lovely, delicious apple crisp, all golden brown and toasty from the oven. And as you can see, as I turn it around here, the apples are all, they haven't really collapsed yet, but that's okay. They'll be all cooked up. And this is a golden brown, gorgeous crust. And it'll be beautiful and delicious for dessert tonight. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video today. I hope you'll like, subscribe, come back and see me next time on Ruby's Classic Cooking. See what I'm cooking in my kitchen. Bye for now.